How many of you listening love the holiday season? Honestly, like you just like love it. The whole thing of it, the lights, the sounds, the music. Even if you don't necessarily acknowledge the reason for the season, some people just love the, as I call, the trim of the holiday. I'm just saying. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode of a No Frills Thursday. It is Thursday. Yeah, already. The week is starting to wind down, and we're looking forward to the weekend. And this is the time we really start sniffing around to spend a lot of money on gifts. Ooh, 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 ooh. Don't get me wrong. I think that giving gifts is a lovely, wonderful gesture. It's very nice. It's very, very nice. It's a very wonderful thought. All right, but let's talk about it. I don't mean to like ruin it for you. I don't mean to ruin it for you. Let's say that you have $1,000 taste in gift giving, but your budget squeaks out about 300. There's nothing wrong that your budget squeaks out to 300. Let's talk about this for a minute. This is really important. Do you have, now I'm just dialing it down, narrowing it down, boiling it down to the gift giving. Realistically, do you have a plan for your gift giving in terms of how much you're going to spend? Do you have an actual budget, like just monies allotted to the goal of gift giving? I am just wondering, do you have a plan? Because people that don't have plans and shop here, there, and everywhere, sometimes they luck out and they manage to get the great deals and everything is good, all cool, wonderful. Sometimes people just float it. They figure, I just want to enjoy the lights, the music, the trees. You could do all that. Don't get me wrong. You could do all that anytime. You could do it on the cheap side for free and walking around. I spoke about this many times, but I'm talking about the activity of I am going to my gift giving budget and making plans. Now, for those that have trouble with this idea, I want to recommend a few things. Everybody's family is different. Everyone's income is different. Okay. So some people think that even a $300 gift giving allotment is a lot because it depends on the situation. Some people live in a single person household. Some people live in a five-person household. You see where I'm going with this. So every situation is different. And according to some experts, we spend a couple of grand every single year for the holidays. Okay. And do you actually have that couple of grand to spend considering the price of groceries lately? I'm just saying. So you have to be honest with yourself, okay? So let's say that your budget, your mind, your heart may be like in the $1 million zone because you love your friends and family so much. And I get that. That's where gifts from the heart comes in handy. But let me tell you something. Even if you're gifting from your heart, sometimes gifting from the heart can actually add up to a lot of money because even crafting can cost. You have to figure out everything. So, what works best for you? Don't concern yourself with how your neighbor spends money on Christmas gifts. That should be totally irrelevant. You have to think about what works for you. All right. Now, all year long, I do encourage people all the time to save, put a separate budget together, do a Christmas club to yourself, blah, 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 blah. And of course, I'm going to start talking about that in January. But right now, we're in the throes of it. And many people just, well, they maybe intended to do it, but it didn't happen. Or maybe because they had to pay more money for groceries and gas, it couldn't happen. You see where I'm going with this. All right. So I think the most important part of this message today is that I am encouraging you to have a plan, be realistic on your plan. And by the way, sometimes check over your gift list, okay? It's a good idea. What gift list worked for you 3 years ago may be irrelevant to you right now. Maybe those people are no longer around or you don't talk to them or whatever. Honestly, sometimes you just have to trim down the list or just keep it towards your immediate family, like your children and your grandchildren. You see where I'm going with this. Do whatever it takes to be honest and realistic about your Christmas gift giving budget. That's really, really important. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I feel sorry for my family, for my relatives, because in my case, my birthday happens during the month of Christmas. So it's like, oh no, a birthday and Christmas. They don't mind, but I'm saying I feel sorry. That's me because that's the way I think. That's the way I think. But I want you to be careful and to be ready because, as I say every single year, and I know this is running a couple of seconds past 5 minutes, if the gift giving budget is above your means, no, no. Plan right now, a couple of weeks before you hit the Black Friday, which is literally in a couple of weeks, like literally, okay, as I record this. Ask yourself, how much money could I realistically plan? Do all the numbers, do the math, grab that hot cup of tea, put some quiet music in the background, okay? Do it when you're not distracted. If $200 is your budget, $200 is your budget. You don't want to go into credit card debt. If $100 is in your budget, then you work with that. If $50 is in your budget, then that's what you work with. This is not a competition. This is not a race. This is making sure, because this is where people get into a lot of trouble. Why I'm very sensitive about pushing the envelope every year around the holidays, about not falling into the rabbit hole of debt. We get caught up in all the festivities, but like I always say, January still comes.